what was that point where you kind of cleaned up and you improved these operational processes and improved throughput and efficiencies and all the things? When was it you're like, okay, I'm ready? You already had these websites. You already had this plan. When was it that you decided this is the moment I'm going to transition? I'm going to start my own firm.
Yeah, sure. It's an interesting question. I mean, I didn't know I was going to do it. When you are starting a firm, if you start your firm on a system that is really the system you should be on when you have 250, 500, 1,000 cases, instead of starting on the cheap case management system to save a little cash up front and then having to migrate later to the system you really should have been on from the start, that is my strong suggestion to people who are listening. I know it's not exactly on point, but it's really important, because the stuff that got me to want to leave my dad's firm was the migration from case management A to B. And I moved them from Needles to Litify. And Litify is built on top of something called Salesforce, which is not designed for a personal injury case, not designed for that workflow. You have to really customize it for it to even function. And when we went live in September 2020 on Litify, after moving from Needles to Litify, it was an absolute disaster. And not necessarily, yes, the product needed improvement, and I had to change tons of stuff after we went live. But the real problem were the people that were at the firm for 15, 20 years who liked to label the documents the way they liked to do it, who liked to do intakes the way they liked to do it. The culture impact of moving from system A to system B when you are involved in a 5, 10, 15, 20, $30 million revenue firm and you know you're on the wrong system, it was the culture of just pulling people's teeth out. Mm-hmm. That is what exhausted me. And even when I finished the product, I was still pulling teeth out. And if you are the one person at your firm who sees the value of a Litify or of a Salesforce-based system or a Filevine or something that really can scale with you on where you want to take your firm, if there are people that you think, oh, they'll get it once we get there, they won't. A lot of the time, change is the thing that wears you out and forces your hand to either leave and start your own thing or just give up on what you think that is the right answer. So for me, what got me to leave was I was starting to delegate all this work to virtual assistants, seeing the value there. I was seeing the value in the reports that I was starting to develop for Litify. I was the third lawyer in the country on TikTok, sort of side note. And wow, I had a couple 100,000 followers on there. And shockingly, wasn't generating the kind of volume of cases that I expected. So I really dove into social media ads. And a few months before I decided to leave, it was July 2021. And I wound up leaving in December 2021. In July, I was tipped off by somebody about the CPAP recall. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of the CPAP mass tort. And I generated roughly 650 leads on an average of between $5 to $10 a lead. And I sent them all out.
There's some good arbitrage there.
Yeah, really good arbitrage there. And on Facebook, you really should be converting at least at 8% on those kinds of leads. I referred them out, and I'm going to leave the firm I sent to unnamed because it just doesn't make sense to just kind of throw them under the bus. They got a 3% conversion rate. So the systems I built there, knowing they worked, the infrastructure of virtual assistants delegating all admin tasks and intake tasks, running successful lead gen campaigns, I was like, you know what? I know I can do these things myself. I know that I can convert better. I know that I can generate cheaper. And I know that I can compete on day one with every single firm in the country, because my numbers were better than most of the best firms in the country, even before I even started my firm. So January 2022, I officially launched Ethen Ostroff Law and what was turnkey ops and is now attorney assistant. And really, I was targeting cases that took 5, 6, 7, 8 years to pay me. So TKO and my virtual assistant company was really my cash flow generator so that I could cover the overhead of my growing firm.
Perfect. So much to dig in here. Let's talk about the social media strategies. Okay, so everyone just said, whoa, you generated this at this case acquisition cost. Are we talking, landing page, unbound, split, ads directly? Are we talking boosting? We talking break this down, and we don't have to give your secret sauce, right?
I don't care. I mean, listen, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm really transparent. I screen share my Facebook ads account constantly when I meet with clients, because if more people are giving the information out the way that I do, that means more people are going to know things that they didn't, and more people are going to be helped. So I don't care if people copy what I do. I don't copy what other people do because I create. So if people want to copy me, great. More people are going to be valued from it. So my strategy, generally speaking, and I'm going to be very clear for those who are listening to this strategy does not work unless you have a stellar intake department specifically for outbound follow-up. If you don't have that, this strategy will not work for you, I promise. My strategy is to run vertical form video ads, generally between 10 to 20 seconds on Facebook and Instagram. And I tried on TikTok and I got banned because they don't love legal advertising on there. It is vertical form, punchy, quick ads that I call misconception content. For example, do you or a loved one use a Philips CPAP machine? Please watch this short video. Look at my hands. Please watch this short video. You may not realize this. Keywords right there. You may not realize this, but your Philips, Dreammaker, etc. was recalled because it causes lung cancer, esophageal cancer, throat cancer, kidney failure, and liver damage. If you or a loved one have cancer and used a Philips CPAP machine, look at my hand, click below. And then I do a lead form right on Facebook. So these are very cold leads. So you got to, it's speed and follow up. That's how you get them to close. I then use a tool called Zapier that grabs those leads, then creates intakes in my case management system, Litify. And then in my Litify system, I automatically relate what campaign it was generated from, what ad set generated it, what ad it was generated from, so that I can get a true cost per case basis based on the ad it was generated from, not only the campaign, but the ad. And they never actually leave Facebook to convert for me.
Right. So in-platform CPMs
are very, very low. But as you know, Chris, these are a really, really cold, passive audience. So the conversion rate on lead form is very low unless you have stellar follow-up, outbound dialing, and speed. So that's the main strategy.
Thank you for that. That's very helpful. And we'll try to put that in the transcription and the notes, kind of a little detail, and incorporate your video so people can see your hands and
Sure.
such for those audio listeners.
And the next piece, Chris, to it, we're now developing our retargeting strategy. You know, the numbers I was telling you about before were without even any retargeting.
Wow, that's incredible.
So now it's not just first video attribution. Now I'm creating drips that go in different kind of directions. So I have one that's like, hey, you watched 50% of my video on insert here topic. Hey, you clicked through to my website, but you didn't convert. Hey, you didn't, click. Again, there's so many different branches of it. And if anybody watching this or listening to this wants to learn all those different branches of retargeting, just start with ChatGPT and ask a few questions. And you'll figure it out.